Hello and welcome to round 14 of the Australian Online Supercars Championship presented by Jinx Shifters. Tonight we're here for the 150k sprint race format again. Great to be back for this at Spa-Francorchamps, which is going to be a cracking run tonight. 21 laps, 150k as we say. And Norrie joining me in the commentary booth as we wait for Mr. Medicav just having some technical issues to come on board. Norrie, looking forward to this one.
Absolutely. G'day Dan and g'day everyone watching. We are at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps for this week's race of AOSC 189 in the championships history, and it's going to be fun. It's Spa. Who doesn't love Spa?
Well, that's it. It's a great circuit to get around, although a little different to what you were saying a bit earlier on there, Norrie. Not a massive fan there, but we'll let it go this time by as we have the guys currently working their way through qualifying. Must say a massive thank you to all the sponsors who have come on board to support the championship through season 10 with Jinx Shifters as our naming rights sponsors, AJ Insurance Services, simrigs.com, Sydney Computers, Bowler Media and Sideways Photography, Race Art Australia, and as always, Track Cams for Gourmet, who help provide us the wonderful video that we have coming through at the moment. No, this one's going to be a tough one for the guys. It's a relatively warm track out there as we still work our way through qualifying. What can we expect for the guys tonight?
You're not wrong there, Dan. It's incredibly hot. It's currently 41 degrees on circuit, so it's hot, 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 hot. The cars are going to be slipping and sliding, and there are some really difficult corners like through El Rouge and over through the bus stop and through the back of the forest section as well. So there's a lot of places around the circuit that are just really going to be slippery on a hot track. And Spa being such an off-track killer, it doesn't let you go too far offline before it penalises you. So these guys are going to be battling a circuit which is out to get them and a weather which is out to get them.
Well, that's it. And it's going to make it really interesting to see how the guys want to manage this one. As we know, the sprint race format, really summed up with that one pit stop. Do you go a little early? Do you go late? Try the undercut or overcut and see how that works out for you. As we're watching Andrew Dyson here just starting another lap through qualifying. We were talking about it a bit off camera, and you kind of touched on it a bit there too, Norrie. The run into turn 1 through the source on the opening lap is going to be critical for these guys to get the most gains if they want to, and then the run down through the Camel Straight into Lacombe and off the back section of the circuit down through Stavelot, Blanchimont, up into that chicane area. We're probably expecting some big passing opportunities for the guys there, and pit stops in that pit stop entry in that second chicane is going to be is going to be very key for the guys to work their way through.
Yeah, do you remember that F1 pile up at Le Sarthe in turn 1? Oh, was it 2015, 2014? It was a mess, and I can totally see, as Mark alluded to on the pre-race show, this is totally a first lap incident waiting to happen. It's a hairpin. Everyone's getting off the line, and they're still a mess when they're getting there. So it could be really interesting to see if we're going to have a first lap safety car, or even a first corner safety car for that matter.
That's it. And I mean, we predicted 2 through the pre-race show, so we'll keep an eye to see how that works through. As we watch the guys working their way through qualifying, we've already had just shy of 16 minutes elapsed on the counter there. Out front, no surprise, Mr. James Scott currently leading the way. He's the quickest man out there on circuit at the moment with 2:18.996, so a very quick lap for him. Corey Sheppard, the proverbial bridesmaid, sitting there in second position for Premier Racing. He's not that far off the pace, only 0.6 of a second at the moment with a 2:19.64. Jordan Ross, who we've seen have that fantastic comeback along with James Scott at Silverstone last time out, back in his traditional colours at Synergy Sim Racing. He's currently sitting in third position, only a 1/10 of a second behind Corey Sheppard as well. So very, very quick, but leveraging just a little bit of the draft there as he comes across the line behind James and now promotes himself up into second position. So the top 3 working very, very nicely out there. Andrew Dyson a little bit further behind, and Adam Briggs also in that 5th position. And Simrigs.com, very familiar with that 4th, 5th positions at the moment. Having a ride here with Adam Briggs as he works his way.
Ross is really taking a stab out there and going P2 in that Synergy car.
Briggs work his way around. Had a big moment there through the double left-hander, so I think that might be a missed run on that lap. Wait to see whether he can come back around, but got quite a few guys in the pits at the moment. One big surprise one, Norrie, is Aaron Dodd, who recently made the big switch from NSR Esports, now over at 9.5 Sim Sports.
Yeah, this is a bit of a mix-up. 9.5 Sim Sports have sort of taken in a few NSR esports. I would call them asylums, and they are seeking a bit of refuge out at 9.5 Sim Sports. Good for them.
Oh, yeah, you're right. They've taken on quite a few drivers, but yeah, traditional form there for Dodd. Still very, very quick out on circuit. As we have a look at Briggsy back again, just coming through that chicane. He's picked up a few green sectors, personal best this time through. We'll see if he's able to improve from that current 5th position as he gets across the line. Not quite going to get that one done. So just looking at a touch over a second off the pace at the moment. He's got enough time probably for one more lap if he can get it in and turned around before race starts there, Norrie.
Yeah, these guys have got plenty of time before the race starts, 3 minutes or so to get themselves sorted and wrapped up. But I think most of them will start it where they really feel like they should. And a lot of these guys have put the effort in to make a lap around Spa actually work for them.
Absolutely. So as we were saying a bit earlier on, so 21 laps tonight, 150 Ks, 7 kilometres in length this circuit. It's a long one for the guys to navigate their way around, and a little longer traditional time than what we've seen, the likes of Bathurst and things like that. So that'll be interesting to play. Fuel capacity tonight, 84 litres, and we're expecting around 5.6 litres a lap burnt, which is going to be interesting later on in the race. As we see who's that Brian Ball going very wide there through Blanchimont. How they want to play that pit stop strategy phase.
Yeah, the pit stop strategy should be interesting tonight. Like you've said, the flow rate and the burn rate, roughly in layman's terms, what we're going to call that is about 15 laps per tank. Out of the 21 laps they're doing tonight, 15 of those will be to a single tank of fuel, and we should see them 15. You touched on the point perfectly before, Dan. Who does the undercut? Who goes early? Who goes late? This will be interesting to watch as we get towards the penultimate lap here, looks like, for James Scott, as he's going to finish his qualifying and try and be up the pointy end of this grid.
Yeah, this appears to be an outlap for him there, so shouldn't improve too much from that. Christian Smart working his way around. I think he might have just picked up an off track on the run out there through Bolosham. We'll wait to see as he comes across the line there, but a good shot of the cars as they go into the braking zone, just how much compression they get on the front. See what he does as he comes across the line. And I don't think that was an improvement for him there. So actually, he jumps up into 12, so he got very lucky with that run through the high-speed corner of Blanchimont.
Yeah, extremely lucky there. It only takes a couple of wheels off the circuit and you're completely gone. So fantastic work that he's got that lap in. This is Harry Dodds. Sorry, Harry Dodds. Crossing line, 18th.
Yeah, a little bit difficult there. We've got a couple of the Dodds out there. We don't, traditionally we also have a couple of Borgs out there. Jaden Borg not having a run out here tonight. Henry King working his way around for a lap. I think this might be a cool down lap for him here. It doesn't look like he's right up on the pace at the moment. The only other car still out on circuit, Brian Borg, but again, just working his way around. Same for James Scott at the moment.
The slide there from Brian Borg sort of indicated his cool down lap mentality of a slide it and drift it and bring it home and don't bingle it, because I'm not going to call him Bingle Borg. He's earned his way out of that nickname this week, so he's back to Brian Oldborg.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's going to put a good show, but it's going to be tough run for him at the moment, currently down in that 10th position, so working his way up through Arouge and Radion for the first time is going to be interesting to see. We're going to stick with Henry King here as he continues his run through. It's already 2 green sectors for him at this phase of the lap, which is good to see. So he's looking for a net improvement on the qualifying in through to Blanchimont. A little bit of a wiggle as he tips the car in there, but very, very wide on the exit. So wonder if he's managed to negate that off track, similar to what we saw from Aaron Dodds. But it's a big moment into the brake zone there as he backs it out of the way to let Ball come through to complete his lap. And James,
I'm going to give him a 10 for his recovery.
it was not a bad way to get the car turned around and back out. So good awareness just as the guys are still continuing their laps. James Scott, though, will take the qualifying pole position for tonight's event, and that is his 9th qualifying pole, Norrie, for the championship. So, I mean, he is really putting him down quite nicely.
I think he's done a few more than 9, but he's definitely on a fine form there. James Scott leading the charge with the AOSC Sports Commodore there, and we tried to knock it off every chance we got at Silverstone, didn't work, and it looks like we're back here out in front leading at Spa. So it's good for James as we get you prepared for your grid before this 21 lap. We're going to call it endurance because it's just a really long race circuit, but it's only a sprint race tonight, folks. It's only 150 Ks.
Well, that's it as we wait for the grid to cycle its way through. It's going to be a very good one out here. We did have a few guys, though, not managing to get their lap times in and set a respective time through qualifying, that being Brett Loxton and Tom Freer, who will start down the back of the order. But as we get the grid up on display here, it'll be James Scott starting from pole position with Jordan Ross alongside him on the front row. Corey Sheppard starts in 3rd position with Andrew Dyson in 4th. Adam Briggs will lead out the 3rd row with Damien Johnson alongside him. Aaron Dodd starts the 4th row with Ken Ladder, Thomas Hinds and Brian Borg in the 5th row with Rob Bowden and Christian Smart in the 6th. Michael Whiting and Stephen Varga will start on the 7th row as we continue to work our way down through that one. We've got Jamie Dyke and Wade Sheedy starting 15th and 16th respectively, with Matthew Brunt and Harry Dodds in 17th and 18th. Henry King 19th, along with Aaron Gilbert in 20th, Scott Weston out of 21st, Stephen Kokorski in 22nd, and he had a great run last time out at Silverstone, Norrie, before unfortunately not being able to complete due to a driver infraction. And then the 2 guys who didn't set a lap through qualifying, Brett Loxton and Tom Freer in 23rd and 24th respectively. Scotty Chambers will be behind the safety car tonight, and he will get a great view of the field getting away as everyone now takes to the grid. We've got a few guys waiting to come in to start this one. And Norrie, what are your thoughts going down into 2 and 1? I think we're going to see a lot of 3 wide action. Are we expecting some carnage?
Absolutely, carnage is guaranteed tonight, folks. If you don't have your seatbelt on, I suggest get it on because you're going to need it at turn 1. You're also going to need it at El Rouge. And then again at the end of the Camel Straight. It's going to be interesting. We'll see where that happens. But we're all gridded up. We're just waiting for the final car to fall into the line. Going to see some lights. The engines are alive. The lights are alive. Let's go racing at Spa.
And as the flag drops, everyone gets away with a great start. A little bit of movement further down the field. Varga getting an awesome jump from the mid-pack there. And as they head up into turn 1, James Scott comfortably through into the lead of the race. Corey Sheppard slots into 3rd. Down in the back, we've got some contact between Varga and I think that might have been Henry King, or actually Jamie Dyke possibly in that one as well. But everyone else now back underway as they head up through Rouge and Radion for the first time. It's all single file between the guys here. And as we watch the guys work their way down onto the Camel Straight, it's a great start for everyone involved there. Still a couple of guys side by side. Let's look and see whether there's any runs down in towards Lacombe here for the first time. Corey Sheppard looking very, very racy, trying to put a move there on Jordan Ross. And then down the back, who was that? That might have been Aaron Gilbert involved in that one. And we've got quite a few other cars. Brett Loxton, Aaron Gilbert involved in that as well. And it's all sort of happened at the back of the field. Yet to get a safety car as the guys work their way through. We'll wait to see what happens with that one. Here's a look how it all unfolded, Norrie. So it looks like that one all started from Tom Freer there, getting a little bit of a wobble as they went into Rouge. And then everyone else not really left with much place to go. Steve Kokorski coming backwards there as we look at him going out of shot there. Aaron Gilbert and Brett Loxton all caught up in that one. So that's a very unfortunate start for those guys.
Not great to be caught up in an incident, but this is towards the front of the pack, and this is alive. Look at the battle. They haven't left each other alone. They're sticking together, and they're just waiting and biding their time until the car in front makes a mistake. At the front, you've got Scott from Ross, from Sheppard, from Dyson, from Briggs, from Damien Johnston, and that's your top 6. So these guys are running at the front.
Yeah, and we're already starting to see a few little gaps opening up early on as everyone settles into their rhythm. And with that being said, we've got some big movers already early on in the event. Henry King jumps 5 spots along with Tom Freer from the back row. Wade Sheedy up 3, and then a few of our big droppers early on. We've got Michael Whiting down 3 spots, and Aaron Gilbert, who we saw involved in that incident, down 3 spots as well. The guys come across the line to get the first lap done and dusted in the books. And James Scott will lead this one through as Andrew Dyson looking at a bit of an outside move here. No, on Corey Sheppard. We'll see if he can get the crisscross as they duck through LaSource there. Not quite close enough to pull that one off.
Yeah, we've seen Sheppard be a bit defensive when it comes to every driver other than James Scott this season. So it'll be interesting to see if Andrew Dyson can get this move done. The brake lights are illuminated from Corey Sheppard in front. He does not want this move going through. He is absolutely blocking where that car can. Look at him on the white line on the Camel Straight. And Dyson, he's looking left, he's looking right. He's definitely looking right, looking left again. He's not going to get the move done this time. But he wants that move, and he knows he's sending the signals to Corey.
Yeah, and with that as well, further down the back of the field, we saw a few more guys doing the exact same thing there. It looked like Thomas Hin's managing to get through on Kenneth Ladder there as well. Let's turn attention back up to this fight for 3rd position. It is on as Andrew Dyson presses right up on the back of Corey Sheppard. He's got his teammate for a little bit of rear gunner support there in Adam Briggs. Damien Johnson now coming into the mix with these guys as well.
And see, Briggs has had a bit of a run of not so great form in qualifying, but his race pace has been excellent. So being rear gunner to Andrew Dyson here tonight will be comforting for Dyson. He will have the support he needs behind, but it's the position in front he wants, because if they keep fighting too much, they're going to lose a bit of Sheppard to Jordan Ross and James Scott, and those guys will run away with it as they did at Silverstone.
That's for sure, as we see the guys further down the field just trying to sort themselves back out after that earlier incident. Jamie Dyke has a little bit of damage on the front of that Fishing Motorsports Mustang, but he's now following Tom Freer through the field. And remember, Freer, we saw have that little bit of a moment at the top of a Rouge there, which almost seemed to set off what was that chain reaction as the guys got onto the Camel Straight. But he's been able to keep going and already up 7 spots from where he started. So getting on with business early in the piece. The gap now between Dyson and Briggs just opening up a little bit as the guys tip through Blanchemont. But no, out front, the 2 leading cars have really started to pull away. We've got James Scott continuing out front. He's almost opened up a 2-second advantage over Jordan Ross, who in turn got a fair bit of move on Corey Sheppard. And further back down the field, Varga just getting the elbows out there as Wade Sheedy comes through.
I think he had the elbows out and he was getting elbowed. He did not like that, and you could just hear the radio light up as that sort of move was happening. Bit of a lock-up from Wade Sheedy in the Premier car just ahead there, so he's all unbalanced in that Premier car, and he's wanting to get away from this battle because it looks like it could get interesting for these guys as they battle through El Rouge now. You can see the witness marks on the right-hand side of the Commodore there. He's not a happy camper.
Not at all, but this will be a good opportunity now for Whiting to see whether he can send one down the inside. He's got a great draft as we see the mixing in the background between Freer and King. But as we keep an eye on Whiting here, he's got down the inside. Nice move, gets the car pulled up beautifully as they come in through the comm there. That now puts him back into 14th position. Right behind those guys, Tom Freer still holding off the charge from Henry King as well. So this is a great little battle pack. 5 cars involved in it and not much separation between any of these cars.
No, these guys are all staying together pretty evenly, I would say. I've got to say, Tom Freer hasn't really fired a shot. Normally, most rounds we'd see him up the front end, so being that far down the grid tonight is a bit out of sorts for Freer. But we'll have to catch up with him later and find out what the deal is with this one tonight.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've seen this a couple of times now from Freer. If we think back to Long Beach, he didn't get the best qualifying result there, but pushed his way through the field. So doing a similar thing, but it definitely makes it hard as he comes down the inside of Varga. That move almost on there, just pulls the nose out at the last possible minute there. Stops those 2 cars rotating their way through. We did just catch a look at Brian Borg as he was working his way through. He's got up a couple of spots from where he started. He's got Aaron Dodds now ahead, but this fight in the midfield is too good to look away from at the moment.
You're not wrong. It is exciting to see how these guys are battling. And these guys aren't holding back. This is sheep stations they're fighting for back here, and it looks as though Freya wants this move. He wants to get it done. He hasn't had the courage to really put it up there and match Varga. Varga has been struggling with a bit of brake locking. Thomas Freya's going to get the job done as they dive into the bus stop. Get a bit of a bust up in the middle of the bus stop from a bit of a tap, and then on and through on the position. But don't think Varga's going to give it up that easily. He's got another hairpin and a Rouge to go first.
Well, yeah, it was a good little exchange there from those guys. I was just keeping an eye on that fight behind as well, as Henry King got very sideways on the exit of the chicane there, and that allowed Jamie Dyke to come in and consider a move as well. But these four exceptionally evenly matched as they continue on. We're only on lap 4 of 21, but what a lap for first 4 laps it has been, as we now turn our attention a little further up the field. Brian Borg has mirrors full of Thomas Hinz, who's going to get one down the inside here into Lacombe, but Borg's not going to make it easy for him. He's going to hold station.
No, he sort of gave him the old hip and shoulder there. Being on the outside really helped, able to get Kenneth Latter in the Alco holder DPR car right on through on Hinz there. Caught a bit unawares, so Hinz will have to think twice about making that move on Borgie again. He has to get past Kenneth Latter first.
And Borg's not an easy customer to find your way through. He's going to make you really work for those positions, so that'll be a great one to watch as it unfolds through the course of the race. Tom Freer now has managed to get one down on the inside there of Michael Whiting, so he's gained another position. He's now got Wade Sheedy, another one of the Premier Racing cars, just ahead of this train, and we're talking about 13th position down here as Varga again having a little bit of a look just to stick the nose in and see whether he can make something happen. But mate, this is a fantastic crack, and it's always what we've come to see now from AOSC in the midfield. It is phenomenal racing.
It doesn't matter if you're at the front of AOSC or at the back of the AOSC, you do always find yourself in a great battle pack, and they don't let you win anyway. As you and I will know well, Dan.
Well, maybe me a little more than you after the events. We're going to get the booty on that one, sorry, mate. But no, we've been fortunate enough to both have a steer this championship, and the racing has been absolutely fantastic for what we've been able to do. The side-to-side between Sheedy and Freer continuing on down through Blanchimont. Who's going to give way here? Wade Sheedy, great driving, just keeps the car in, gives a little bit of room there, but Freer should get this completed as they head up into the braking zone. Michael Whiting's going to send one down the inside as well, as everyone concertinas as the field comes through into that brake zone, but Wade Sheedy doing a great job just to keep the car in position.
I'm going to take solid tips on a bust-up happening in this sort of area right about now. These guys just look like they want to have a move done by Varga there. Gets done pretty cleanly. Bit of a slide there from Jamie Dyke in the fishy car. He's all fishy on the exit.
Well, that's it. And that was almost a good run. But I mean, we were talking about this just as we went to air here. The best spots are overtaking right off this section of the circuit as the guys work their way down the Camel Straight. And again, into that final chicane into the bus stop. And we've already seen some great passing through both of those two sectors on the circuit. We'll have a look back and see if Wade Sheedy now wants to return serve as they come up through Lacombe. Thinks a little better of it, but brings the car in nicely under brakes. A few guys a little further back just working their way into contention as well, as we see Matthew Brunt getting a move done there on Henry King. That's a nice slide job down the inside there. Now he moves himself up into what is 18th position. Jamie Dyke just ahead there. So a good run for Blunt, down one spot from where he started, but coming back through the field quite nicely.
And a slide in the rear from Henry King as he gets that Jinx Shifters car just a little bit sideways. He managed to straighten it up, but that's a bit of a fun drift mid-session. Not sure we're handing out drifting points at the moment, Henry. We're going to have to try after the race for the drifting points.
Well, that's it, and I mean, that's you want to be careful with the tyres early on. I mean, we've seen with the changes that iRacing have made recently to these cars, they do heat up the tyres. You see Porky with another big slide out of Stabilo there onto the what is the back straight here as the guys work their way around. But once you get the tyres off the edge, it's very hard to pull them back. And as we're seeing out here tonight, it's 40 degrees out there. What are these guys going to do to keep the life in them?
Well, not drifting. Yeah, so Henry King, you've already stuffed it, mate. But they can come in from about lap 6 and make it home. So that might be the option. Long fuel to the end of the race. and run that tyre set. But you've really got to be careful when it's so hot. 40 degrees. These tyres are scorching. It is going to be so hot for these drivers, and it's going to be hard to find the traction that you need out of stuff like the bus stop and the hairpin corners. They're just going to need every piece of traction they can get.
That's it. What is hot at the moment is the blowtorch being applied to the back of Wade Sheedy as Jamie Dyke now sets up for a move into La Source. Just had to pull out of that one as he gets the rear brakes dancing on the run in there. So this is a solid little fight. Wade Sheedy definitely not making it easy for these guys to come through on him. We've already seen the likes of Freya, Whiting, Varga all have to get a good move done if they want to progress further up the field. And now it's Jamie Dyke's turn. We'll see how he runs through the Radion section of the course. Wouldn't be surprised if Wade Sheedy actually picks up a slowdown penalty for just how much curb he was out past there as they run up through the hill, but doesn't look like he's slowing down as they head up into Lacombe. Jamie Dyke just not quite close enough to get that move done.
If he's trying to get it, see, I thought he got hit there. If he was trying to get that slowdown done, he really didn't make a clear effort of it, but it does look like he's getting some moves done now on him, so he's probably at the end of his slowdown time to get that done. I was hearing Nick saying there's a curb, there's an apex there. There was an apex. He's taken the 90 line.
Yes, he's been at the Norwich School of Driving where you avoid every apex like the plague, but he's getting on quite nicely there now. So he did lose another spot to Matthew Brunt, who has now got back to his starting position in the race down in 17. Sheedy now 2 spots down from where he started. Might turn attention a little further back up the front of the field and see how things are tracking on as Brian Borg in 8th position at the moment. He's got mirrors of Kenneth Ladder. The guys now working their way down out of Stavelot down towards Blanchemont. And these guys not really separated by too much at all. Last time by for Borg, it was a 2:21.84, whereas Kenneth Ladder 2:21.86. So a couple of hundredths of a second involved in this one, Norrie. Very evenly matched between both Premier and DPR as we've come to see over the course of the season.
Yeah, you'll see that at the front of the field. You'll also see that down in 8th place here with Ryan defending from Kenneth. These guys are having a great battle. Is that a Harry Dodds? Harry Dodds taking the scenic line. I'm not sure the scenic line is a good idea, but it looks like the one he's taken tonight. How do you think that's going to play out for him, Dan? Bold strategy?
Look, it's a bold strategy, Cotton, for sure. But yeah, nothing like a bit of dirt track or off-track racing in these cars. As Borg has a massive mid-corner slide there up through Blanchemont. That's going to give Kenneth Ladder a great run here down the inside. Doesn't look like Borg is going to go too defensive early on, and Ladder should get this move nicely competed as they head down to Lacombe. Just shuffles it over a little bit in the braking zone. I'm sure Brian's not too impressed about that one there, but both guys working their way through. Borg's going to stick the nose back in a little bit there, just pulls it out as they head down towards the chicane. But no, this is a couple of times now. Borg's starting to struggle a little bit on those tyres.
Yeah, you said he wouldn't been happy with the way Kenneth closed the corner. I don't think he's happy with the way he's sliding that Mustang around at the moment. He's really a bit slippy all over the shop, so Brian needs to come in and change those tyres and really conserve them for the next stint home. And now you're looking at Dyson. He's got another whole world on his hands because his teammates right behind him, but he has lost touch with Corey Sheppard up ahead. So that'll be interesting to see if they can close that back up if we get a safety car. And if they do the old switcheroo, if Briggs can take the run to Sheppard, or if they reckon Dyson's got it.
Well, that's it. I mean, we were looking at these guys as they settled in through lap 2 there, and Andrew Dyson, just say, right over the back of Corey Sheppard. He's fallen off some 3 seconds at the moment, so possibly a little bit of a team strategy here, just trying to maybe undercut the pit stop strategy, but it's very early on to be trying to pull those sorts of moves. But I guess if Briggs is to try and come through, what's Dyson got to do to try and make it as simple as possible for him, but not lose another position to Damien Johnson?
Well, just be defensive. That's the easy bit. Be defensive against Johnston and let Briggsy come on through. Maybe the way they do it is by alternating strategy. So maybe Briggsy goes in a couple of laps first or beforehand, and Dyson goes in after, and they make sure that they don't lose any time when they're not behind each other to get the undercut done.
Well, that's it. We'll keep an eye on that one. It unfolds. Henry King up on the back of Wade Sheedy again, down in towards the chicane, trying to make another move here. but these guys not getting their way through. But Sheedy, similar to Borg, really starting to struggle, and I wonder if that's a little bit of a an insight to how Premier have got these cars set up. Maybe very, very good for the early run, but not quite anticipating the hot weather conditions that we've got here tonight.
Yeah, possibly set up to be an excellent car in qualifying, but less of an excellent car in race conditions. These guys will be wanting to just give it their all, but Wade can come back from this. He hasn't fallen too far back, but he's fallen far enough back that it's noticeable.
Well, we are still expecting a safety car, so that if it does come to fruition, that's really going to neutralise the field and put these guys back in a good contention. We might quickly duck through our field as the guys continue their way through lap 8. James Scott out front. Actually, we'll stick with this battle as it goes on, but James Scott out front to the tune of 3 seconds over Jordan Ross. He's really just walked away from this one early on. Corey Sheppard, though, since he got away from Dyson, has really closed up on the back of Jordan there. That gap 0.3 of a second as we continue with this fight down here for 19th and 20th position. Actually, sorry, 20th and 21st position. Scott Weston out in front over Henry Dodds. But turning back to second position, though, Jordan Ross in a little bit of trouble here. He's got Corey Sheppard roll over him like a rash.
Yeah, you're not wrong. About lap 2 or lap 3, Jordan Ross and James Scott had really checked out on the field, and Corey was under immense attack from Andrew Dyson. It's now the other way around. Corey Sheppard's right up on the back of Jordan Ross here. As you can see, just following dead straight in the line of that Mustang straight ahead. Corey Sheppard really needs to get this move done if he's got any chance of taking his bridesmaid's dress off tonight and wearing the gown. But he's going to... he's got a better exit, I would say, than Jordan Ross tonight. It's interesting to see how those Synergy Sim cars are getting off the corners.
Absolutely. I think the big interest as well here, Nora, was just how quick Corey was just a lap ago. He took 0.4 out of Jordan Ross, and that's no easy feat when you consider how evenly matched all these guys are out on circuit. So he's brought himself right back into contention, but it's going to be interesting to see who wants to blink first out of this one. If you're the betting man, you'd think Corey's going to maybe throw the challenge a little earlier and try and come in and get those fresh tyres and get back out underway. But Jordan Ross, if he holds him up too much, might just play himself back into this as the race continues on.
Well, that's the thing. When does the safety car fall? When do these guys pit? It's all a bit of a who's who in the zoo at the moment because we don't know what's going to happen. Traditionally, Corey has been a conservative driver and he hasn't gone for a bold strategy. But Jordan Ross, he's played a few bold ones earlier on in Season 10 to get himself into contention for a race victory or a race win. This is Tom Freer getting a move done on Michael Whiting. Michael Whiting getting the move done. Oh, a bit of a bump. Mid-corner. And Whiting prevails.
Yeah, Whiting doing a good job there to get through. But that's not the first time we've seen Freer getting a little bit forceful in these cars. He's going to send one down the inside as well.
Doing it again.
Just enough room being left there from Whiting, but he's going to come back through No Name. This is a great little exchange between the Fishy Motorsports drivers and Synergy Sim Racing. Let's see what they do as they come into the double left. I think this is going to really benefit Freer here as he can get the car down the inside, turns it in, but Michael is hanging tough here. This is a great run from these guys.
Freer's just got one of those scenarios where he's caught a fish on the reel and it just won't let go. But Whiting's doing a fantastic job here, really applying the pressure to someone like Tom Freer. Tom, normally quite a fast driver. He's made 11 positions tonight, but he didn't actually settle up in qualifying. So we have no idea. This is back to your leader. This is James Scott. He looks lonely out there, but he's pretty happy. I'm guaranteeing that one.
Absolutely.
Corey's in.
Corey now, early dive into the lane, just keeps it off the wall. It's a really tricky entry for these guys to come through. He gets the car in and away, and actually that's going to trigger quite a few guys to come in as well. We've got Briggs, Johnson, Dodd, Kenneth Ladder all coming in early to get their pit stops completed. So we're on lap 10, Norrie. 11 laps to go for these guys. It's going to be a good run home for them.
Yeah, I was just saying before that Corey takes the conservative strategy, but as everyone else files in, it's a pretty normal conservative strategy by that token. So we've got a few of these guys. This is Weston and Dodds. None of them pit, so they're going to keep going for another lap. But like you say, Dan, 11 laps to go. It'll really be a test of the mettle to see how long people like James Scott and Jordan Ross can hold out before they eventually have to pit.
Exactly, and as we watch the guys now working their way back into circulation as well, Corey Sheppard has come back out on track, down in 11th position. He's got Matthew Brunt just ahead of him. And interestingly, having a look at the pit stop times for these guys, so it was just shy of 16 seconds stationary for Corey as he gets the move there done into Lacombe. Briggs, Johnson, 13.5 seconds.
Off the track, Corey Sheppard. That sorry to cut in, Dan, but that is not a great way to look after your new tyres, and that's really going to give Jordan and James a bit of a leg up when they haven't pit yet and they've got clean running ahead of them.
Well, look who's just behind in this little train as well. It's Adam Briggs there in that DPR car. He is closing in, and with that mistake that we saw from Sheppard in through Lacombe, that's really brought him back into contention, because we saw that gap had already expanded out to just over 3 seconds between Dyson and Sheppard as well. So that's brought a lot of these guys back into play. We're going to stick with James Scott to see whether he wants to blink at this point and come in the lane, but judging from what we've seen early on, we'll wait and see. He comes in through the chicane there. It's a nice early run, and he's going to cover off the move there. So smart driving. Will Jordan Ross do a similar thing? No, he won't. He's going to get out front and lead a lap. So Jordan will take a run. Dyson now in the lane as well. Brian Borg now comes in through on Thomas Hinds as well. We didn't see whether that was a change for position, but Borg's going to take the early stop. Hinds going to press on for at least one more lap. Christian Smart is going to take to the lane as well, while Rob Bowden continues on. So it almost seems like it's a bit of a tit-for-tat thing here. One guy goes in, one continues on. That's it. Tom Freer, though, is going to press on one more time with that really scuffed up Synergy Sim Racing car. Dodd continues on. Sheppard's, well, we saw him come through before. Adam Briggs now is in much closer contention on the back there of Corey Sheppard as well. So that bobble that we saw from Sheppard as he came back out on the fresh tyres has really hurt him. And there he is, James Scott, just in front of these guys now.
Yeah, it wasn't too good for Corey to make that move, but we've got a struggling Tom Freer with a very fast James Scott. This is going to be a move which is going to be a simple one to get done. Tom will try and cover, but it won't really work. And straight through goes championship leader, James Scott.
Yeah, a nice run there for Scott to come through. Interestingly, though, Scott so far with the longest stationary time out of any of our current pit stoppers, 17 seconds for him. So he must have been burning the fuel early on to try and get that pace that we saw out of his opening stint.
Well, he was just in clean air, Dan, so it's going to be interesting to see if that's given him bad fuel economy, or just if he wanted that gap, which is what's made him choose so much fuel. Maybe he's just making sure he's not getting any more curses tonight, and he's getting a lot of fuel in the car to make it home. We've seen him run quite close to a dry tank before, so don't want to do that tonight, James.
Well, surprisingly too, now that the pit stops are sort of shaken out for at least our top running contenders, Andrew Dyson has had a bit of a net lose when all things are considered. I mean, we saw him leading the way from his teammate Briggs and Damien Johnston. He now finds himself behind Johnston, currently sitting in 10th position. We do still have a few guys left to peel through the lane to complete their stops, but he's taken a little bit of a hit of a couple of positions as Jordan Rossno continuing on one more time. So the long game in effect for the Synergy guys.
Yeah, Jordan obviously playing a long strategy, and you've got to sort of justify that, weighing it up. Are we going to see a safety car? Is it going to happen, and is he going to get caught out by that one? I reckon Jordan's playing the game tonight. He wants to win, and he's going to get as much traction as much track between him and James Scott as possible.
Definitely, we see Andrew Dyson down the inside there of Damien Johnson. That was a nice run down through the chicane. Both drivers just giving a little bit of room to allow everyone through, and no contact as they cycle their way through. A few more of our pit stoppers coming in with Hinds, Dyke and Brunt getting their stops out of the way. That's really going to leave 3 cars yet to come through for their respective pit stops. Jordan Ross Rob Bowden and Tom Freer yet to come down the lane to complete their respective pit stops. So when do we expect them potentially, Norrie?
Oh, they've got to make it soon. I mean, 15 laps to a tank, so it can't go on much longer than lap 15 if it's going to happen then. But we're only 2 or 3 laps away from that happening now.
Yeah, so they're going to have to be cautious of that one as we keep an eye on this battle down in 17th position. Wade Sheedy, again, all over the back of Henry King. And we saw Wade, just prior to that pit stop, had really started to fall down the order. Do you think potentially with the track conditions, maybe a little bit of a tyre pressure change for the incoming set will help them out, maybe?
You'd hope so. You really would, because they're gonna benefit from throwing something different at it. But you look at the pit strategy there. Ross is just going, and Bowden is really up there as well with the tanked SRT car, so he's doing good. And Scott is a fair way back from those guys in third, taking the stop already. So interesting to see who it's going to pay off for going long.
Absolutely, we'll continue to watch that with bated breath here as have a look at this battle continuing on between Hinz and Brian Borg. Just prior to the pit stops, it was a role reversal with Borg just ahead of Hinz, but pit stop advantage to Thomas there. He's managed to get his way through, and it was a just over 2.2 second advantage that he managed to get through the pit stops. That's a great shortcoming on the strategy. Hopefully he hasn't run that tank too dry.
You'd want to hope not, and if has run the tank too dry, he's going to be feeling a world of pain. But these guys are going to keep motoring on.
Been a little bit of an incident here for Aaron Dodd. We're going to have a look back to see what unfolded. It's just a off track as they come down in through that Stavolo corner there. Very easy to do because you're trying to maximise your run on the exit to head up through Curveball Frere and down in towards Blanchemont there, and he will get a slowdown for his efforts. So let's see what happens as that one continues on. Back up the front though. That's it, but back up at the pointy end of the field. Tom Freer still yet to come down the lane. 13 laps into this one. He has got great fuel economy coming from the back of the field. And we're going to see Adam Briggs now down the inside. Corey Sheppard's already managed to get through. Briggs comes through quite nicely there down into the column. That's a great pass for all of these guys.
Yeah, there's a bit of driver communication there. Tom Freer just tapping the brakes on the way down the Camel Straight, basically inviting Adam Briggs to come on through. So he knows what he's doing. He's running to a number, Tom Freer, and he's going to make sure he gets to a longer pit stop.
Yeah, and that will be a great run for him. So as it stands with yet to make the pit stop, we know it's a little bit out of sequence at the moment. Freer's up 18 spots, but our effective race results at the moment, as it stands, James Scott, our effective leader, out on circuit. He's got a 4-second advantage over Corey Sheppard. Adam Briggs now into third. So we didn't see what happened, no, but what has happened to Jordan Ross? He's continued on, apologies. So he's going to see whether he plays himself back into that second position when it all cycles through.
Yeah, he's yet to stop. He's yet to stop, and he's going to need to use all his momentum and all the old tyres are going to give him to make this gap, because James Scott is not that far off, and he's going to lose that gap if James keeps catching at the rate he's catching. So Jordan Ross has got to watch out for that one.
Well, yeah, and I was just looking at the lap times by as we see Rob Bowden now in the lane. The fresh tyre advantage that James Scott's able to enjoy at the moment is helping him to almost the tune of 2 seconds a lap. So I think for Ross, the time is now. He's got to get in the lane and get that sorted. And you're right, as you see Tom Freer now in to complete his stop. So we've only got one of our cars left out there yet to come down the lane, but Jordan, you would expect he's going to have all sorts of word coming through on the radio that they got to pit this lap.
But you just said it there, Dan. The fresh tyre advantage that James Scott has got at the moment, that's why he's catching by about 2 seconds a lap. Jordan will have that at the end of his, or when he does eventually take his stop. Now, as we get closer to the end of this race, we're lap 15, lap 14 now? So he's only got a few laps to use that fresh tyre advantage and really apply the pressure to James Scott. This could be a gun move from Jordan Ross to get himself on the winners rostrum for this season 10 of AOSC.
Absolutely. I think it's a great opportunity to see a few unique strategies, and this is probably one of the more unique ones that we've seen. So this is going to play in quite nicely. I guess the other big advantage too, not only is he going to have the fresh tyres, Norrie, he's going to be low on fuel coming through, which you say we're still working our way through lap 14 of 21. That car is going to be like lightning as it comes back through the field.
Absolutely, and I hope it is like lightning. And any kids out there, Lightning McQueen, that's Jordan Ross's new nickname for tonight.
Well, if we can cut through the field in another way, we might have another word for him as well, but might be grease lightning. But we'll wait and see how that one goes on. And I can just hear the drones from all the guys, whether you're tuning in through Facebook or YouTube, as much as we heard from our production manager Nick Hauser in the background.
I'll call him JT. John Travolta.
Well, we'll see whether he can Travolta back up the order, because Ross now is back in the lane. So we'll continue with the shocking commentary calls tonight. And Mr. Matty Cav, unfortunately, not going to be able to jump in. He's had some technical issues. So he's got some superlatives to have a listen through as this one
You're
comes back.
with that Travolta back up the field.
Mate, he will be Travolting through like grease lightning. I'm very happy with that one. It's great. But as Jordan now in the lane, he has got his pit stop underway. So he's down and away. It was a 16-second stationary time. That's a very long stop for him with everything considered based on the guys around him. I mean, we've seen guys in 14, 13 seconds getting the stops. This has put him down in 5th position, right behind Andrew Dyson.
But he's right behind Andrew Dyson, so there is an air gap behind to his teammate Damien Johnson. He's got a rear gunner. He's got fresh fuel. He's got fresh tyres. Low fuel, fresh tyres. And he's going to be on a solid charge. This is Jordan Ross.
Well, let's have a look down in towards Lacombe here. Down off the Camel Straights, he sends it from a fair way back. Dyson's awake to that one, so doesn't shut the door on him. Although it would have been well within his right to do so there. But Ross going to come through, gains 1 position. So it's now 2 seconds up the road, or 2.5 seconds, up the road to Adam Briggs. Let's see what he's able to do. But Dyson is going to hang there like a wet rag and see if he can stick with him as best as possible.
Well, this is Jordan Ross. He's really got to make this move work. As you can see, that gap between Corey Sheppard and Andrew Dyson. Sorry, it's Adam Briggs. It is Adam Briggs, sorry. And Corey Sheppard. This is Wade Sheedy getting the move done on Henry King. Thank you, Nick, for throwing that one at me.
Yep, and Sheedy getting through. So lightning strikes twice in that corner. We see a couple of passes getting done on this lap. So a good move there for Sheedy to get back through on King. Adam Briggs still on the back of Corey Sheppard, fighting for that 2nd position. He's going to have to keep an eye on the rear view mirrors. However, Jordan Ross is coming since getting through this time by for Jordan. He's already pulled 0.8 of a second there on Andrew Dyson, so he is really making advantage of those fresh tyres. The track conditions are starting to turn in the favour of these guys. It's down to 39 degrees, so it's only 1 degree cooler, but that will help that tyre life just a fraction as we see the guys down into the bus stop chicane. It's a good run for all these guys. Back out front though, James Scott has cleared out 7.5 seconds up the road from this. It's going to be a tall order for Ross to come back at him.
Well, that lower track temperature by 1 degree is going to help Jordan Ross.
Well, it will, and he's already continuing to take the time out. I'll be interested to see the advantage that he can get through here, because, I mean, we saw a purple sector 4, and actually the quickest guy out there by quite a way of about 0.3 of a second over anyone through that final sector. So those tyres are coming in quite nicely for him there. But catching is one thing, passing is another. And you've got 2 seasoned veterans at it, like Adam Briggs and Adam Briggs and Corey Sheppard. Not going to be easy for Jordan to work his way through. This fight with Sheedy and King is just going around and around. It's role reversal now with King getting back in front. And a little further up the field, Stephen Vargas now going to lose a place there to Tom Freer. These two we saw have some early exchanges, and 2x2 through up Rouge and Radion is not where you want to be. Michael Whiting buys into it.
He bought into it, and he bought in a rear differential by the looks of that. It was a big-time hit, and that is put paid to Stephen Vargas' day, unfortunately. That was a horrible move.
Yeah, definitely. Let's have a look at how this one unfolded. So it's 2x2 as they head up through a Rouge. Varga gets forced a little bit wide. Michael Whiting there with the opportunistic move down the inside. And I don't think Varga knew that he was on the inside there. Hard contact into the wall, and we did hear just across the radios in our ear, Norrie, that they have asked race control just to have a quick look at that one and adjudicate the run through.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think he would have been blind having the car right on his outside there, would Varga have been, but the fishy car definitely had the room on the outside of Radion to clear that move. Would have ended up in a slowdown, absolutely, but that's what you get for going 2x2 by El Rouge. Shouldn't be done in any car, let alone V8 supercars.
Well, that is it. As we keep our eye on second position, look who's joined the party here, Norrie. Jordan Ross has closed the gap. He has stormed away from Dyson and Johnston there and got right up and amongst it. And he's going to be vying for that second position as we have a look at Dodd's on ladder. Not quite close enough to get the move done. And for those who may have missed the opening exchange in the telecast there, we did mention that Aaron Dodd has recently switched teams from NSR Esports to 9.5 Sim Sports, which is why the change of colours from the fantastic green to the white now.
Yes, if you're ordering in curry, now's the time to do it, and it's going to be spicy with Jordan Ross closing onto this gap. Briggs from Sheppard is the first two cars. Sheppard in the blue, Briggs in the white, Jordan Ross in the golden silver looking thing, and he is coming at these two like a bullet. We're going to call him Lightning, and Briggs is a bit of a lock-up through the chicane as they make it through. Jordan Ross is alive to that, and he's making the move, and he's making his presence known. This is giving Corey a bit of an ease off because he won't have to defend as hard, but Jordan has got the fresh tyres, so he's going to make this absolute hell for Adam Briggs.
Well, that too, but Briggs is going to make that car very, very wide. We've seen him go very defensive but fair early on. You can already see the intention is he just moves the car half a car width wide into the double left-hander here. This is really where Jordan's going to get a great advantage. You can already see he turns the car in nicely, picks up the apex there. But for Briggs, he maintains good momentum on the run through up in towards the chicane there. And you're right, Corey has been able to get a little bit of a reprieve here. It's 4/10 advantage now for him. That'll be nice just to cool the tyres off, just marginally prepared for the next assault.
And that's going to really help Corey stay in P2. It's really going to help James Scott stay in P1 because Jordan's having to really fight Adam Briggs for this position here. It should have been a lot easier than this. But we see him just throw his Simrigs car to one side. Jordan Ross is taking the Synergy Sim Racing car right on through. And that is easy as apple crumble as he makes his way up to Corey Sheppard.
Yeah, nice run down the inside into the chicane. Interesting, we did see on the graphic there, it took a second out of Adam Briggs that last lap. So those new tyres really coming into their own as he continues on. As we have a look down a little further in the field. Ladder from Dodd, from Hinds. These guys are all scrapping over 8th position. And nothing separating these three teams as they continue to work their way across. They're on lap 18 now, and no one making a move there down into La Source at this point in time. But our attention turns back to the front of the field as it looks like Briggs now just starting to fall off the back of this little train. Corey Sheppard is going to be the next one on the gun sights here for Jordan Ross.
He's got him firmly locked and loaded. You can see Sheppard knows he's next because he's blocking. He's taking the deep line right up against the white line. He's not going to let Jordan have a sniff of opportunity here. But unfortunately, it's fresh tyres and a light fuel low, which is giving Jordan the sniff of opportunity. And he's looking at the back of Corey Sheppard's car. You're looking from the back at Jordan Ross, and you're going to see this move happen in real time. Because it's going to be right here. He's going to dart the nose to the left. And he's going to throw the car down the inside. and make it through No Name, but they're going to keep running together. This is further back in the field. This is one of Kenneth Latter, Thomas Hines, and a very sideways Kenneth Latter through there.
Yeah, these three being very, very close as they continue on that fight. Do think back, though, between that battle with Sheppard and Ross, it reminds me a lot of what we saw at Charlotte at the Roval there, where it was a big lunge at the end of the race. Will it be the return serve here from Jordan, who works his way back through? Because, I mean, he was in a great position in that race. Unfortunately, it didn't quite come to fruition for him. We'll wait to see how that one unfolds. But this fight here for 8th position is continuing on. We cut back up to the leaders, and Jordan Ross closing in again on the back here of Sheppard.
I feel as though it won't be a late lunge. I feel as though that move's going to happen. It's going to happen very soon, because Jordan definitely wants to get that move done, and Corey just might slip up and make a little bit of a mistake. You can see that these cars are running line astern.
Yeah, continuing on a great fight. This battle there for 8th position has not let go. Ken Latter still the meat in the sandwich here as he continues to try and put the power down and keep the Alka holders DPR car underneath him. And he's doing a great job to hold on to that 8th position at the moment, staring at what could be a potential 7th for him. That'll be a great result for the team as we turn our attention back to this battle for 2nd. Up the Rouge, one more time over the top through Radion. Very evenly matched between both of these guys. You can just see the advantage that Ross is still gaining on those fresher tyres. 2/10 last time by for lap 18, 2/10 on lap 17, and just over a second on the 16th there. So really coming on strong here. Sheppard well awake to that, using all the road and then some to continue holding on to that 2nd position for the time being.
This is back looking at Aaron Dodd and Kenneth Latter and Thomas Hines. 3 cars all dicing for a position, and there's only one position up for grabs. It's position 7 that Aaron Dodd comfortably currently holds. But these 2 behind him are just eager to get that move over him and move up on their tallies.
Yeah, there's not much separating these 3 at all as they continue on. We're right on board here with Thomas Hines staring at the guys in front. They come out through No Name Ben up in towards that double left-hander there, which puts a huge amount of load on the outside tyres here. You just see how much they're having to lift off the throttle as they turn in through that corner. For Dodd, it was a little bit wide on the initial entry, but hasn't seemed to hurt him as they run up towards the chicane there.
Yeah, it didn't seem to hurt them at all. We had seen Kenneth a bit slidey through most of these corners, sort of inviting Thomas Hines, the car you're riding on board with, to have a look and have a dive. But he's really tightened the rear of that DPR car up in these last couple of laps.
Yeah, it'll be just a little bit of a bar adjustment to try and help settle this thing. He's only got to hold on for another 2 laps here as the guys continue their way through, down through Curve Paul Fred in towards Blanchimont here. Will we see a dive down the inside from Hines? This will be a good opportunity for him to maybe gain 1, if not 2 positions. We'll wait to see as they work their way through. Looks like he's just settling in here at the moment, not quite close enough to make the move done. As they come in towards the brake zone here, it's a good move, but just a little too far back at this point to make it work.
But Thomas Hines is not thinking it's too far back. He's buying into it, and he's putting all his chips on the table. He wants to get this move done over Kenneth Latter, as we are back on board with Corey Sheppard. And looking back at Jordan Ross, this battle seems to have reached an equilibrium. Jordan Ross won't have wanted it to end like this, and I can guarantee Corey Sheppard will have wanted it to end like this.
Well, that's it. I mean, Corey's done a fantastic job here to hold off the fast-charging Jordan Ross there. I think he's kind of getting to that point now where the tyre advantage is not going to be quite as big as we see the guys work their way through Lacombe. We'll wait to see whether there is a change of position. There actually is. Jordan Ross now gets ahead up into 3rd position. What's happened to Corey? He is falling down the field now into 4th position. So he's lost 2 positions as the guys work their way through. This battle still continuing on as Thomas Hines sticks the nose down the inside. I think he's going to make this one stick. So head up towards the hairpin. He dives it in just that little bit later. Ken's going to have to be cautious there. There's a little bit of a bump and rub between the guys as they switch positions. It's a great move there from Thomas Hines to come through. So we're going to duck back to this incident with Corey Sheppard to see how it unfolds. So he gets a little bit slow down there through Lecomno and takes the traditional racing line. And then it looks like maybe a net code. I'd love to see it from on board there with Jordan Ross, but set him sideways into the dirt, and that allows both Jordan Ross and Adam Briggs to come through. Here's the onboard shot to see how this one unfolds. So he's right underneath there. Not quite close to get that move stuck, but did have the door open just a fraction.
Didn't hear a crunch, and well, I've got to say, great avoidance from Adam Briggs there. But I didn't hear a crunch. We'll see a bit more of a clearer picture this time by. There's a bit of a gap there, bit of a gap. Not a bit of a gap. So that's going to be a Jordan Ross redressing to. Okay, so 143, Jordan Ross is going to have to redress that position. That's going to put pay to his efforts as we're on a white flag lap here.
A big call there from race control. That's now going to put Adam Briggs now up into that second position. No, I mean, we thought for Briggs he might have been out of contention once we saw Jordan come through. He sort of fell away a bit from the field there, but that's going to pull him back into the contention. We'll get a little further down and see what is going on. We've had a car go off the circuit. It's 134 from Matthew Brunt. Looks like maybe just dropped out of server there. So that's unfortunate for him as he comes back in and then rotates down in through the chicane there. So that's an unfortunate run for him. Holds on to 18th position.
Yeah, Jordan not redressing on track, deciding to argue instead with the stewards who give up their time week in and week out to nice slide. Who was that? Thomas Hinton? No, Kenneth Ladder. Nice slide, Kenneth. I'll give you 10 points for that one. But Jordan arguing with the stewards who give up their time to so diligently watch the race. So that's a bold strategy.
Definitely, here we are with the two Fishing Motorsports, a little team-on-team action here down in through Lecom, and a change of position there with Jamie Dyke coming through and almost losing the position as soon as he gets it done on Michael there. So those guys just working their way through. It's going to be a nice solid run for them down in 14. Sheppard now trying to put a move to get back into contention on Briggs. This will potentially put him in effective second when we see the redress come through. But for Briggs, he's not going to want to give too much away as there's a little bit of slide down through Stavolo. If there is a redress coming, he's going to want to stay high and dry here to get this move or retained and get the job done. James Scott works his way through the chicane for one final time. It's been a lead from start to finish, and James Ross comes through to claim another victory here in the AOSC Super Series.
Briggs.
Briggs has a moment there down into the chicane.
So, yeah, we thought Briggs was out of contention. He put himself out of contention at that last corner there.
Yeah, well, made a little bit of a mistake there in the final run on Corey Sheppard. We'll wait to see how that one unfolds. We do know Race Control did issue a redress penalty there for Jordan Ross. We'll wait to see how that one unfolds, as there was some discussion mid-race on that one. Corey Sheppard gets home back into third, potential second. Andrew Dyson, the big one, to get up into the fourth there. And Damien Johnson had a great run to come home in fifth position.
Okay, so Briggs is complaining of the hit that unsettled his car at Blanchimont, and that's why he's run off at the last corner. As Stephen Varga brings his United Sim Sports car, which is a bit bad and bruised, but finally got it home. And this is Henry King bringing his car home, and Matthew Brunt finally bringing up his car at the rear of the field. These guys are all coming home, all with different tales to tell of this lovely 150k event at Spa.
Like I said, it was a great race up and down through the field as we watched the last of the guys work their way across the line. Scott Weston now coming through right behind Harry Dodd and Brett Loxton get themselves across the line as well, as we see Brett Loxton and Aaron Gilbert still circulating around the circuit. So good to see these guys not giving up and still fighting on to get themselves back as they continue their run through. We'll stick with Brett Loxton here as he works through Blanchimont for the final time and up into the chicane. It's a good drive there for the Jinx Shifters driver. He gained one spot, and we'll bring this car home. Norrie in 22nd position. And Norrie, mate, what a race. That had everything from start to finish. Quite a bit of biff and barge towards the back end, though.
Yeah. And that's your race results on screen. You got James Scott from it says Jordan Ross, but it's probably going to be under review from the race control. Corey Sheppard's in third, Andrew Dyson fourth, Damien Johnson fifth, Adam Briggs sixth, Aaron Dodd seventh, Thomas Hintz eighth, Kenneth Latter ninth, Brian Borg in 10th position. Great run from Brian Borg tonight. Christian Smart is 11th, 12th Rob Bowden, 13th Tom Freer, so moved up from the rear of the grid. 14th Jamie Dyke, 15th Michael Whiting, Stephen Varga was 16th, 17th went to Henry King, 18th went to Matthew Brunt. And 19th went to Wade Sheedy, then 20 went to Scott Weston, 21 to Harry Dodds, 22 to Brett Loxton, 23 to Aaron Gilbert, and that was your classified finishes. So as you're saying, Dan, we had a great race. It was on from start to finish. James had a lights to flag run, and he would have loved that as we're getting towards the end of season 10 here. So we're getting ever closer to season 11, and this is James's second on the trot championship in the AOSC, and he's absolutely leading this one from start to finish like he did tonight's race.
Well, that's it. It was a great controlled race from him there. And actually, we've got James standing in the green room, so we might pull him in and we'll have a quick chat about his race to see how everything unfolded for him and get his take on everything as it went through. Because, I mean, as you say, did it very, very comfortably out the front there. And as he jumps in now, we have our round winner, Mr. James Scott from the Logitech G Altus esports team. Mate, great drive for yourself there. Did it very comfortably in the end?
Yeah, that was pretty comfortable. Car was really good. And yeah, I saw the guys behind having a little bit of a ding-dong battle. So, and I do know there was something going on. I can't comment because I haven't seen it, but I don't know. I'm sure they'll get it right.
Well, that's it. I mean, a few little issues to sort themselves out, but for yourself, it was a very controlled race right from the get-go. I mean, we were having a little bit of a discussion today and not too sure how this was going to unfold, but again, you guys back on top of the game again and pressing through. With the track conditions being as hot as they were out there tonight, how did your take go with the car setup?
Yeah, obviously you need to account for the hot conditions that were out there tonight. Track was pretty slippery, so it was just really about managing, especially the rear tyres, so you can get off the corner well and get a good run up the long straights here. But yeah, as I said, the car was really good tonight, and yeah, I don't think I ever really had to push too much besides the first few laps just to break the draft. But then, especially in that second stint, I was able to back it off and just really save the tyres.
Yeah, it looked very comfortable once those pit stops cycled through. Turning our attention, I guess, on from Spa, we're off to Brands Hatch for the next event. Another very different circuit. We've seen three rather unique tracks in as many weeks. What are your thoughts on Brands Hatch? How do you think the cars are going to go? And is it a favourite of yours at all to go and travel to?
I'm not really sure, to be honest. Brands Hatch hardly ever gets used. I do think we've ran them once before with these new ZB and Mustang supercars, but yeah, I think it's the Grand Prix layout, which is a long one. I could be wrong, but I think that layout probably suits a little bit better than that real short one. But yeah, I think it'll be another close race, and I'm sure qualifying will be very important around there as it's pretty hard to pass.
Yeah, absolutely. Qualifying really key to getting a good result here, mate. But a fantastic drive for yourself. Last time you were here for season 8, the 650k, you got yourself a win. Now you've done it in the sprint format, so congratulations on that one. But before we let you go and enjoy the celebrations, mate, is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, obviously, congrats to the other guys on the podium. I'm not sure what's going to happen there with penalties and things like that, but I'm sure they all, and Briggs as well, it looked like he was pretty close to getting on the podium there at the end, but unluckily for him, he missed out. But other than that, our great sponsors at Altus Esports with Logitech G, Astro Gaming, Cube Controls, Own 3D, Racetech Seats, Virtual Racing School, and Sam Blacklock Media. We couldn't do without all of those guys. And just a thanks to all the guys at Altus Esports as well for the hard work we've put in getting this car back on track because it was a fair way off before. But yeah, it's really going well, and obviously the series admin as well, and all the broadcast team for tonight.
Outstanding, mate. Again, congratulations on the win tonight. It was well deserved victory. We'll look forward to hopefully catching up with you again next time out at Brands Hatch.
No worries. Thanks, guys.
I don't know what's going to happen there, but controversy. So we'll see what happens. I could lose the position, could get DQ'd. Don't know. We'll see.
Well, talk us through your run tonight, Jordan. It was a good strategy for yourself. You got away nice and comfortably early on. Found some great pace in the car. Ran the long strategy. How were the tyres just before you came in for the pit stop?
Yeah, I thought our pace was okay, and I was a bit surprised when I came out from the pit stop. I was only like a few seconds behind Sheppard and I think Briggs. I thought I'd be like 7 seconds behind them because I thought I'd be like a second and a half slower. So it was a bit of a surprise. But yeah, so we just sort of reeled them back in. And before that contact with Sheppard, I just rested my tyres after getting past Briggs for a lap or two to have a crack. And then, yeah, we'll see what the stewards say.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess we heard from race control during the course of that one, there was a talk of a redress on it. From your point of view, how did it unfold? Because we had a look just to see whether there was any contact. We couldn't quite see it, although it looked like maybe the car was a little far back on the initial turn in. What was your take on it?
I was turning right at the point of contact, and there was plenty of road to the left. That's the way I saw it. And you know, apart from there was a little bit of net code because I actually never got a contact, and I just felt like, you know, like I had mega fresh tires. I'd rested them. I had like 7 lap or something, or 5 lap or whatever, fresher tires, and I just felt like probably a bit more room, you know, was needed to be given there. But at the same time, he'll feel differently. You know, he's battling for second at the end of the race, so. But I thought I was there. I thought the move was on, and they're saying I was 7 k's an hour quicker at the apex than last time. But I think if you have a look back when my tyres were good, it was the same speed. So we'll see what happens. It's all good. Like we're nowhere in the championship, so we'll see what happens.
That's it, mate. We'll wait to see what race control adjudicate on that as they deliver their results. But for yourself and the team, good qualifying tonight, good race pace for yourself. Next week, we're off to Brands Hatch. We just asked James the same question. What are your thoughts on the circuit?
I can't even remember how the circuit. Oh no, yeah, I remember. Yeah, not my favourite circuit, but we'll have a crack. As you know, like I think is it the last round?
Second to last.
Right. Yeah. So mate, we'll have a crack and try and get the car set up and try and resume battling with Sheppard and Dyson and Briggs. I think what's his James has found something at the moment. He's just streets ahead of the lot of us. So
yeah, looking very comfortable in that car, mate. But for yourself and the team, it was a good run. Great to see you back in the traditional Synergy colours after last week out at or last fortnight out at Silverstone, where you jumped on board the Altus car. But good result nonetheless for yourself and the team, mate. And before we let you go, is there anyone you'd like to thank?
Yeah, just all the guys at Synergy Sim Racing and JK Science Positives Mechanical Repairs. You guys for rolling up, the race control for even rolling up, and Nick and Matt for keeping this thing going.
Fantastic, mate. Again, all the best. Great result tonight. And hopefully we'll have a chat to you in the coming rounds.
Thanks, guys.
And joining us in third position alongside Norrie is Corey Sheppard.
Corey, it's third for now, but race control might change that as we go talking. Run us through your race and run us through your position on the contact.
It's definitely an interesting race. It was good fun. Well, I had two kind of contacts. The one with Jordan, it looked like he was going to hit me anyway, whether there was netcode or not. And the one with Adam, there wasn't too much overlap, so I just kind of took my line and he just got pushed over a little bit. But no, overall, it was a good, fun race.
And you had a real form, or at lap 3 onwards, you really closed the gap between Jordan and James at the front. Did you sort of lose Dyson there, or was that just more they fell off the back of you?
I think towards the start, I was trying to manage my off tracks and make sure I didn't get any, so I could use some towards the end. So I was kind of trying to take it a bit easy. And then as the race got on, I started pushing more and more and reeling them in and had a good race with them.
Excellent to see. You did have a bit of an off track there. It was a fun strategy for your tyres there, but iRacing does that at Spa. Looking forward though, back Brands Hatch is where we're headed next. How's that? What sort of track is that for you?
I've only been there once, but I think it's going to be a fun track. So yeah, looking forward to it.
You're fighting for P2. It might be P2 on the road tonight. We'll see how race control decides to adjudicate that one. Thanks for your time tonight. Corey, is there anyone you'd like to thank while you're here?
I'd like to thank my sponsor, Mr. Antenna, all the guys at Premier Racing, and you guys for putting on the broadcast.
Thanks, Corey. Enjoy your podium.
Thanks, guys.
That was Corey Sheppard coming home in third tonight, but it's just a little bit of a shadow on the result. Might be up into second position. We are waiting for race control to see how that one unfolds. Norrie, next week, we're off to Brands Hatch, another one of the 150k sprint rounds, a very different circuit to what we've seen tonight with a lot of undulation, which is going to be interesting to see how these cars manage it, and a very classic sort of circuit that really suits the supercar.
Well, Brands Hatch is the touring car, or a British touring car circuit, was for a while there, and it's a great touring car circuit lap. Like you say, plenty of undulation. Our supercars love undulation, and they're great with that, so it should be interesting to watch. And it's the penultimate round. How is that not going to be fun? Anyone is going to be there at the penultimate round before we then take a couple of weeks off before our big retro round at Bathurst. I keep plugging the retro round because I want to see everyone bring their best dress livery. There might even be a prize on the offering for the best dress livery. We'll wait and see as we get a bit closer to that one. But Dan, it's been a great run. Excellent race here at Spa tonight. And let's kick on now to Brands Hatch.
Absolutely. Really looking forward to that one. And for those tuning in, whether you're tuning in through the AOSC TV Facebook page or on the AOSC TV YouTube channel, we'll be live for that one on the 28th of the 5th at Brands Hatch, so next Friday night, which will be great to see another 150k enduro. But before we go, a massive shout out to the series sponsors who have done a fantastic job behind the scenes, helping get the series production continuing on, and with our naming partners, Jinx Shifters, AJ Insurance Services, simrigs.com, Sydney Computers, Bella Media and Sideways Photography, Race Art Australia, and Track Cams for Gourmets for their fantastic camera packs that have really spiced up the look of the broadcast. But for all of us here at AOSC TV, for Nick Hauser on production, race control, the unsung heroes of the event behind the scenes, Norrie Norris in the commentary booth alongside me, Danielle. We'd like to thank you all for tuning in, and hopefully we'll catch up with you all next week out for round 15 of the AOSC Super Series. Until then, good night.